Palestinians are making their way back to northern Gaza in droves after Israel completed its withdrawal from the strategic Netzarim corridor over the weekend. It's a milestone in the ceasefire after 15 months of Israel's war in Gaza. The corridor had split Gaza across the middle and became a point of contention early in the war. It's a strategic position for the Israeli military that intersects with Salah ad-Din Road, which runs the length of Gaza. Assistant Foreign Editor Hadi Al-Alawi joins us with more about what that means and what to expect.
Just to give a little bit of context about what this corridor is, it basically splits north of Gaza from the south of Gaza. And it was built around the beginning of the war, and it was considered a military win for the Israelis. They used it as a way to control the movement. They used it as a way to control what is happening in the Strip. The withdrawal was part of the ceasefire deal, which was struck between Hamas and Israel. This is a very big moment for Gazans who have been waiting for months to return to their homes. They have been displaced several times in the south. But what's really interesting is what we saw in the footage that emerged, which is a lot of destruction, a lot of basically just sand and rubble where homes used to stand. And the National specifically, we spoke to people on the ground who were moving through the corridor, who spoke about the large amount of destruction that the Israeli army has caused in the area. So they spoke about something that they haven't seen before. One of the people we spoke to said that the destruction was to a level that has never been imagined even. And considering what we've already seen in Gaza, saying that this is nothing on the level that has been seen before does put things into perspective.
What does this say about prospects for the second and third phases of the ceasefire agreement?
So news about how the negotiations are going is still unclear. The negotiations were supposed to start last week. There's been a lot of delays. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has delayed his delegation arriving to Qatar, which actually arrived Sunday, we reported. What's interesting is that this is somehow considered a positive step, as in like the Israelis have withdrawn fully. It was part of the agreement. What does it say about the coming phases? We're not quite sure yet. It's all very intricate at this point, and it's all very important, but there's a lot of speculation about where the second and the third phase are going and when it's going to be implemented and whether there's going to be any changes to what has already been agreed.
Sources told The National on Monday Palestinians passing through the corridor are being subjected to security checks by Egyptian and U.S. contractors. Meanwhile, reactions to U.S. President Trump's plan for Gaza continue. Hamas has vowed to block Trump's controversial proposal for the Gaza Strip. A senior Hamas official said on Monday that the plans of the West and President Trump for the Gaza Strip were, quote-unquote, doomed. Khalil al-Hayya of Hamas said during a commemoration of the 46th anniversary of the Iranian Islamic Revolution in Tehran, quote, "We will bring them down as we brought down the projects before them," unquote. Mr. Trump on Sunday doubled down on his plan to take over.
I'm committed to buying and owning Gaza. As far as us rebuilding it, we may give it to other states in the Middle East to build sections of it. Other people may do it through our auspices, but we're committed to owning it, taking it, and making sure that Hamas doesn't move back. There's nothing to move back.
Iraq's president is suing the country's prime minister and finance minister over delayed payments to government employees in the semi-autonomous Kurdistan region of Iraq. President Abdulatif Rashid has taken legal action against Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and Finance Minister Taif Sami Mohammed. The lawsuit was filed with the Federal Supreme Court on January 20th, but made public on February 9th. It's the latest in a long-running dispute between federal Iraq and its semi-autonomous Kurdistan region. Sinan Mahmoud, the National's correspondent in Iraq, reports.
Mr. Rashid is asking the court to issue an order to ensure that the region's employees are paid continuously and on time without any interruption. He's also emphasizing that any technical issues should not delay the salaries of the public workers in the region. and the time of announcing the lawsuit is interesting because it is seen as an attempt by Mr. Rashid to appease the growing protest in his hometown, Suleimania province, where the protests have been taking place outside the United Nations office, with some of the protesters resorting to a hunger strike. These protesters or the government employees say that they received their January salaries, but they are still waiting for their December pay.
The court's first hearing on the lawsuit is scheduled for Thursday, according to a document issued by the presidency. That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at thenationalnews.com. Yasmin Altaji, The National.